Thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody, please take a gift bag before you go. There's some goodies in it for everybody. Jaden did not.
You're more selective.
Wait, one more.
Teresa, we want our mayor just to say something real quick if we have a moment.
First of all, thank you very much for the tour, Alejandro, and welcome to the community. I love the enthusiasm and all the ideas you have for bringing together the community and the business here at Fiesta Square. And welcome on behalf of the city of Lafayette. I look forward to working with you and continuing working with the community.
Thank you so much.
Most of you know this is our second location, and we're doing our best to make this our flagship as of clinics in the Bay Area. We're also trying to build our Palo Alto clinic, but we feel like Lafayette is going to be our headquarters, if you want to call it like that.
So do you have three?
We have two Pleasanton.
Palo Alto.
Pleasanton we opened 2 years ago, a little 2.5 years ago. Lafayette we opened kind of like opening January 1st. And we're slowly ramping up. I feel like now that the weather is getting better, so a lot of people tend to be a little more lean towards coming in and getting these services. And now we're in the process of discussing the lease in Palo Alto. So again, the plan is to expand. It's very exciting. I mean, it was honestly was a great coincidence. I was having lunch here with my broker, and we were just discussing about where should we be, and we were thinking Walnut Creek, Alamo, this area, and she said, like, turn around, that's your place. And it was like bacon. It was as simple as that. Just, again, casual conversation, and all of this happened. It was available, we took it, and all of you guys have been absolutely amazing with us. Thank you so much. I was telling Dennis, like, all the support. It's been great. Thank you so much. But a little bit of it about the Sculptology. Again, we opened doors about 2.5 years ago with the concept to be the best at one thing. We believe that you cannot be a master of 50 different services. So we decided to focus on one and have a couple of ancillary services that pretty much complement what we do. We lead our practice with Sculpting. That is a technology that it's actually was born here in the Tri-Valley in Pleasanton about 7 years ago. And we decided to really specialize on this. Lauren has been with the company with Sculpting for 7-8 years, maybe more. Part of our executive board are also executives of Sculpting. And I think that gave us a little bit of the vision of really focus on this. And a result of that, last year we've been nominated to be number 1 in California, number 5 in the United States, and out of almost 6,000 practices that have this service. So again, the intention is pretty ambitious. We would like to expand international as well within the next 3 years. But again, we hope that this specific clinic will be the one that we're going to start advertising to everybody. Okay? So I would like to invite you to go and walk with me. I'm going to explain a little bit about what each room is all about, like the whole experience. Hopefully you enjoy it. So again, we try to do everything digitally in the sense of like try to be as green as we possibly and eco-friendly as we possibly can. So all the paperwork is done on an iPad digitally. Once you start coming to the first stage, it will be our console room.
You always think I understand you.
Sorry. So this is our first stop in the journey, and here is where we usually do all the consultations. We have a computer behind here where we take your pictures and we display them on the screen and start with talking about all your goals, what is that you want to do. We just acquired a 3D scan system, so we're the first ones in the area to get this system, but we're still learning how to use it. And we will be able to actually show your body here, start rotating, and basically analyze the before and afters in a more techie way, okay? But for the time being, we only use 2D imaging in order to go with this with this part of the consultation. We do things a little different here because, again, not only because we specialize, but because we're learning through the process how important it is for the customer to really be the one driving this whole journey. More than a medical practice, this is more about providing a solution to the patient where they're the drivers, not us. And by education, by being able to show you what we can do or not, it's them the one to make the decision. And I think that's a big difference between us and the rest of the providers. As part of the console, as I was mentioning to you, we have the second room where it's the before and after photo room. Again,
Not going to stand there.
there you go. That's the podium. Yes, that is the podium. So this is the photo room. In the photo room, again, it's self-explanatory. We're able to take the pictures. This is a patient. This is a model that actually was part of. It's on our website. She flew all the way from Denver, and she decided to get treated with us before her wedding. So I know that I'm displaying a little bit of the name, but we have her permission to do so. This is a little sample of what we have accomplished with just one session of the treatment. Here we have all the displays. And the reason why we spend so much money on this technology is because it's very easy for us to take a picture, download it in the computer, and Photoshop it. And then show it to you and say, look, what a great result. Just the fact that the light changes angle, it can change the results altogether. And then, I don't think that that's ethical or fair. That's the reason why we're spending this, and we can show you live your results. So there's nothing to hide, and we connect this into that computer. And I was telling you, we're able to play with this, show you, rotate, and do everything, okay? Usually that's part of the consultation. We do have, if the patient decide to move forward with the treatment, then we go into the other rooms. This is a replica of room 1. It's pretty much what it does. It's a much smaller area where the patient can just, relax for a little bit, or in case we need to have like a quick check-in or something very, very simple, we do it over here. And then we go into the treatment rooms that are here. So this is the usual setup.
More people.
Oh, yeah. Everything, the site, the location, the facility is beautiful.
Thank you very much.
One of my favorites.
There you go. So a little bit, so this is the treatment room, right? If the patient decides to get treated, this is where it happens. As you guys can tell, this is the actual setup that you see on your treatment day. So this is nothing different than, it's not something special the way that we set it up. This is the way that it is. Usually most of the patients tend to watch Netflix, cable, they're not during the meetings, they're on their computers. Moms.
So if you all see me on a Zoom.
It's a good background. No, a lot of people, like yesterday, for example, yesterday we treated a patient, and she was so she decided to put almost kind of like a top, right? And she was on Zoom having executive meetings or whatever with a background just like that. Nobody told her, oh, you're moving a little bit when we were doing the little massage, but other than that, we're just relaxing. A lot of people get treated, they go back to their office, or moms usually just say, hey, turn everything off. I'm just gonna sleep.
Yeah.
And they just relax for 2-3 hours, so that's a good thing too.
How long does the treatment take?
It really depends. I'm gonna explain a little more about like all the insights on the next room, but a treatment could be anywhere from 30 minutes up to, again, we treat Dina for about 8 hours from head to toe. It really depends on what it is that you want to get done. But again, just to show a little bit of the setup of the room, we have currently 4 machines of this. and we're waiting for another 3 to come. At the same time, we're trying to, as I was talking to Dennis, we're trying to complement the practice with a little bit of other technology that can bring more customers to this area. We're trying to evaluate it into cryotechnologies. We've been doing a lot of research, not only for cool sculpting, but for another companies that also have a lot of impact with cold, especially with the face. So really involved deeply into research and trying to get the most advanced technology. All right. Now we're going to go into the next room where I have like the 2 machines and explain the process a little more. Okay, please follow me. All right. Come on in, come on in.
So, oh, she's been taking my way. Maybe I can get a few minutes while I stand.
Right. Come on in, guys.
By osmosis.
Come on in, come on in.
Cheers. I can keep going. Here we go.
Yeah, there's also like space here if you guys want to. Do you want me to move like to
Here
our...
we go.
All right, so this is where, again, I'm going to explain the process a little bit, show you guys how the magic works. But basically, we have 2 systems. This system is the older system. It was built about 5 years ago. As you guys can see, it only has 1 applicator, as we call it. And this applicator, what does, it sticks to the area that you want to get treated, for example, the love handle or the abdomen. So all the tissue gets inside this little cup. And yeah, and then these cooling plates bring the temperature down to -11. And the fat cells are very sensitive to cold. So what they do is, like, once they get to a certain temperature, they just explode in a way. Cool sculpting is the only technology in the market that is FDA cleared to use the word permanent for permanent results. So fat cells, a lot of people think that fat cells are cells that replicate a lot. So when we gain weight, we build more fat cells. When you lose weight, it happens the opposite. And it's not true. Once we reach adulthood, we have a fixed number of fat cells. And what happens is that fat cells are like balloons. So imagine like a bag of balloons, right? That's the equivalent of the abdomen. When we gain weight, those balloons just get inflated. When we lose weight, they get deflated. But you have a fixed number of cells. When we treat you with cool sculpting, what we do is we destroy 20 to 25% of that bag, all right? And those balloons never come back. You still have some, so if you gain weight, you will still get some, but it's not gonna be near to what it was in the past. So that's the reason why, when I was explaining at the beginning, you guys are the drivers, not us, is because 25% could mean something to me different than to you or to you, right? In a person like me, 25% could be a huge change. On somebody who's 5'1", it may not represent everything. So that's also the reason why some patients decide to go with 2 or 3 sessions, depending on what are their goals, all right? Another important thing that we need to mention about this is that this technology has been pretty much created in response to the concept that a lot of people say diet and exercise are gonna get rid of my fat, and that's not true. You have 2 different types of fats. One is the visceral, that most men tend to have, is the round belly that we all have. And that is pretty much diet and exercise. That's the fat that is attached to your organs and eventually is gonna kill us through cholesterol and cardiac issues, etc. And then we have the beauty fat, if we're gonna call it like that, that is more like the love handles. So that fat acts more as a storage of energy in case we decide to go into starvation, diet, etc., etc. So no matter what you do, unless you're a professional athlete, you will never be able to destroy that fat, unless, again, you go into a regimen of, like, with your food and your diet to be precisely at a specific time with a specific portions, etc. So that's the beauty of this. Pretty much everybody at some point in their lives will have a little bit of excess fat. Last year, we've been testing these systems in Pleasanton as part of the research. we have been testing the experience of the patients from that one to this one. And they launched last year at the beginning of the year, well, mid-year, the Elite system. So we were one of the very first practice in the Bay Area to actually have the Elite system, because again, we were doing research for them. And as you guys can see, the difference, there's several different, but the main one is that now we have two of the hosts. So now we can treat two areas at the same time. And we have a lot more options in order to treat. So each one of these little heads, as we call it, it has, sorry. No, don't worry, I get it. They have like different sizes. There are different depths. There are different lengths. And all of that is gonna be decided when we do the evaluation at the front. So again, there's 27 practices who offer this in the Bay Area. But although it may seem like a little simple just connecting this to that area, it honestly is a piece of art, because everybody here has enough experience and saw enough abdomen. But you need to build almost like a map. And that map, I'm not gonna get into too much detail, but you have to start pinpointing the peaks of where the fat is at. You need to start the orientation of the tissue. It really takes a lot of knowledge and understanding of how not only the machine but the human body works in order to be able to really provide the desired results. And I think that's what set us apart, because we really spend a lot of time with our staff training them on how to evaluate the body, and to more than anything to really be able to see what expectations would be for the patients, and if we're able to match those expectations, right? That I think is very important. So again, this system is a lot more modern. The treatment time is a lot shorter. We're testing, because we're also doing research between the old and the new. This is an ongoing thing that we're gonna do for the entire year. And we're seeing that the results with these ones tend to be a little more drastic and a little quicker too. Still analyzing the details, but we're having a lot of great success with this. Any questions?
One more time. Are you reducing the size of our fat cells, or are you wiping out our fat cells?
We are eliminating the fat cells forever. And that is the beauty and the beast about cool sculpting, right? Other technologies, well, you messed up, well, they're gonna grow back again in 2 years. With this one, it's not the case. With this one, it's a permanent result that, if done well, again, just like I showed you with Dina, that abdomen is gonna be like that forever. If done incorrectly or by somebody that has not been well trained, then you can start having shelving, what we call the shark bites, right? That is like when the applicator was not placed properly. I would say probably 30% of all the patients that come here are patients that were treated elsewhere, and they're happy with the result because they saw that the technology works. But now their abdomens look like a mushroom because they only treated the bottom and not the top, or like a half moon where they didn't place the applicator properly, so there was not enough contact with the tissue. So now there's almost like a sleeve. And again, that's what I mean by it's easy once you know what to do, right? And I think that's the reason why Allergan or Cool Sculpting chose us to be partners in research and implementing these technologies.
So
Yeah.
when you eliminate that, how does that exit your body?
Just like when you exercise and diet, your lymphatic system drains it out. So this is a process that takes about, you will see results starting from month 1. There's some slight changes, but usually most of the results happen between month 2 and 4. That's where you actually can see the results. Now again, there are some patients that we tend to respond a lot faster and a lot better. Women, primarily because estrogen, they behave a little differently. And again, it's not the same a 25-year-old than a 50-year-old, et cetera, et cetera. It depends, there's a lot of hormonal changes. In my case, for example, I have thyroid issues. So I tend to respond a lot later than the average male, and a lot slower. But again, that's a one-on-one case. We've seen people, 60-year-old females that respond like this in a month, like drastic changes. And we saw 25-year-old people that it takes about like 6 months to respond. The good thing is that everybody does respond. In our experience, we treated about 7,000 patients already. Out of 7,000 patients, we only had one case that was a true non-responder. We could have treated this patient 50 times. Nothing would have changed. All right? That is something that is so extremely rare that this patient now is part of research at Cool Sculpting because they're doing like blood work, they're doing samples, they're doing all this. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, just curious, is this owner operated or do you have plans for a franchise?
Good question. We don't want to franchise it because it involves medical. And usually when you franchise it, you lose that ownership and that grip, that decision-making, the decision-making process, right? My previous experience, I used to work with a vein practice. We used to treat varicose veins. It was privately owned. We grew all the way up to 120 clinics in 6 years. And what I'm trying to do here is to replicate the same. Hopefully 220, but I think that's a little ambitious. But as of right now, we want to keep it private. Again, with a group of 5 investors, if we call it like that. Each one has some expertise in each individual field and try to keep it like that. Because of that, because we don't want to jeopardize the quality of the service. We want to have control that whether you get treated here, in Vegas, in Dallas, in Houston, or in Mexico City, your experience will be the same everywhere else. And that is something that you cannot accomplish once you franchise the model.
Nice.
Okay? So going back again, just to close the clinical side, once you get treated, those fats are gone forever. Any other question?
So I had a question, you touched on it earlier, but while you nip down, what are the facial, I saw the pictures on the screen out there about treatments for the face?
Yeah, Cool Sculpting treats 9 parts of the body. It starts with the chin, my personal favorite. The chin, you can do the axillary puff or like brow fat as it's called. I also got treated here. For males, we treat the chest. We treat the back fat or like the brow fat. The back, the abdomen, the love handles, like the flanks. Inner thighs, outer thighs, distal thighs. Those are the 9 areas that we get treated. Obviously, as you saw at the TV at the lobby, we also provide a couple of ancillary services like injectables, like Botox and fillers, also a little bit of microneedling. This is more, we don't advertise this too much because it's really not our cup of tea. It's more like when you think about Starbucks, you think about coffee. When you think about fat reduction, you should think about Sculptology. Doesn't mean that you cannot get quality services on both. For example, Linda, she's the one who provides all the injectable services, a lot of experience, really great results. But again, it doesn't mean that when you go to Starbucks, you cannot get a tea or something else. It's equally good, but we want to be known for something, and that's what we're driving our brand towards.
So how has the business been so far? You've been open here a month or 2, or how's it been going so far?
Yeah, it's been, Lafayette is an amazing place in the sense of like really great quality customers. Business is going up. It's a little hard to ramp up because of the war, like gas prices, etc. So because we rely a lot on disposable income, people now are thinking twice, should I spend $3,000, $5,000, $6,000 on getting rid of my fat, or should I just, wait for a little bit and see? So, but volume is going up slowly. There has been some issues with the whole, with the systems. We had a little recall last year that they were fixing. Fortunately, we're done with that. So it's been kind of like going up and up and up and up a little bit. But again, more than anything, it has to do with the situation, the financial situation that the country is going through, right? but we're feeling that a little more in Pleasanton, but Pleasanton is already well established. So although new customers are slowly coming in, the recurring customers are coming back for more and more. When it comes to Lafayette, again, we've been a little quiet lately because we're trying to work on a couple of marketing strategies. There has been, probably you guys heard about like all the Apple policies, like the privacy policies that they ask you whether you want to get tracked or not. So that influence your lead generation business-wise. So we usually tend to see about 50 to 60 new patients per month. That has gone down to about like 40. So, and obviously now it's 3 times more expensive. So now we're restructuring everything in order to be able to capture more demand. But I think that marketing is gonna start going back a little bit on the traditional marketing, right? Events, open houses, things like that you can invite, because small businesses, it's my opinion, are not going to be able to generate as many new customers digitally like they did before because of the cost of it.
That's right. That's the chamber can help a lot, right?
Yeah,
Word of
exactly,
mouth and
exactly.
references and things like that. So
Exactly.
great.
And no, and again, like in Pleasanton, we've been extremely active. We're planning to do the same over here. I wanted to go to Pilar the other day, but I got my booster and I was with fever that night, so I didn't think it was a good idea for me to be there. But again, we have a plan in order to work with the chamber on a couple of events. I'm already talking with my neighbors in order to be able to do what we did in Pleasanton. It was almost like a wellness fair where all the businesses here, we get together and we invite pretty much everybody to visit our business and be able to learn more about us. So we took a lot of initiative. Over there. We are also in Pleasanton located in a shopping center similar to this. We have yoga, Pilates, other businesses similar, and it's been very successful partnering together. We created like a network of referrals.
And then they can get dressed.
There you go. Yeah.
Harper Green.
Absolutely.
The fitness center right next to the fitness center
Correct.
next door and all that.
Yeah, and I mean, like you have all the way from tutus, Caroline Salon, you have Solanos, jewelry, you have this, you have Harper Grill, Chico's, and then you have Blue Mercury. So it's the same customer that basically comes shopping from left to right, and all the needs are here. And I think that's where we fit perfectly in this.
Holly is our social media whiz. She's amazing. So
I saw that. I
we
know.
want to stay connected to Holly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And Christine has you guys already met?
Yeah.
Perfect.
We met a while back, so hopefully we'll be partnering in the future.
Absolutely.
That magazine has really taken off. She's done an amazing job starting from scratch.
Awesome.
And I think it's a very good place
To be.
start.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is a little bit, and then the last stop is just to show you very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the last stop. This is our Botox
Our
room.
flanks and our sides.
There you go. So this is the last stop in the journey. This is our Botox room. Again, here usually it's a quick stop when the patients are either getting treated or somebody who wants to come, a quick injection, and they're out on their way. So it's very, very simple. Again, very small room. But again, people love it. And we were able to, actually this is going to be like one of the first steps that we're going to use that 3D system, especially in the face, because we will be able to show you the changes of the before and after when it comes to wrinkles, when it comes to fillers. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Oh. She's videotaping.
Of the record. Yeah, it's amazing how, especially Botox and fillers, it's just part of the everyday life of everybody.
A lot of people.
Almost everybody, I would say. Some people tell, some people don't, but like I would say like male, for example, males in our case are the most loyal customers for cool sculpting.
Yeah.
Females tend to come and they get like, oh, here is $15,000, get everything done. And then they disappear for a year or two.
Yeah.
Male are like, they come every other month. Can I get this done and this done and this done? And so
what's your percent? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
Percentage male, female. What's your?
we are 70-30, but we have the highest number of male patients in the nation. Percentage of distribution. Usually it's around 90-10, 80-20. We're 70-30. So that's another reason why we're starting next month another project in order to see what drives males to get this done, because they tend to be more loyal than females are. So that's going to be a really cool study to understand.
See what you could look like? Did you see that?
Were you looking at that? You were focusing on this.
And then again, like Scope 3 is another room identical to this. We have a patient coming in a little bit, so we have that room set up for them already. So I'm just gonna
Do you charge by the hour? Do you charge by
I wish.
treatment?
No, the treatment is based. The price is based on how much work we need to do. So not the hour, it's the number of applicators that go into place. Again, we play kind of like Tetris, as you guys saw. We need to map the entire abdomen. We need to learn about what your expectations are, right? It's not the same to go with one session versus 2 versus 3, even 4 at times. So it's more about the whole mapping and how much consumables are gonna go in there primarily. And because we have multiple systems, we'll be able to treat even like 8 areas at once. So we can get you out in 2 hours instead of other practices, 8 hours within the same treatment. So I think that that's the beauty about having multiple systems in one clinic.
So being shorter is better because it takes less time.
Finally, an advantage.
Yeah, it's less area to treat, so usually it requires a little less. That's why usually like male, we tend to be a little more expensive in that sense. But again, ultimately it just comes down to what is that you wanna get treated. All right?
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, and then a little office to the left. Let's yeah, and then this is our little office. I apologize for the. So here is where we usually have our team meetings.
So note to self, don't, no monkey business in the front office.
Yeah, so we have, obviously we need to, track the cameras out of safety. This is where we have most of our meetings as a team. Every month we have a clinical hour where we discuss all the cases, special cases through the month and learn. Sometimes we have, again, guests from Cool Sculpting headquarters joining us and going over some specific cases or whatnot. And then, well, as we started, this is our team members. Everybody left a little bit of a note as we open doors over here, what, the Sculptology means to them. Hopefully that wall is gonna be full within the next couple of years. Yeah, it's been great. So this is a little home. All right, we can go. Thank you so much.
Question for you. So you said that the fat cells go away slowly then.
Yes.
So does that reduce the possibility of sagging skin afterwards or excess skin?
Yes, because it's so slow that your skin tends to adapt.
Okay.
So
it's not like liposuction where it's sudden and all of a sudden you're left with bags.
No.
Okay.
This is something more, again, subtle. The changes are a lot slower, so your skin adapts. Okay. More than anything, like cold also tight skin. So I cannot tell you, oh, your skin is going to get better because I'm not allowed to say that.
Right.
But our experience shows that it does.
Okay.
And again, male tend to respond a lot better than women.
Oh, really?
A lot better than
Interesting.
women.